So of course, with the announcement of the Crew Motorfest, the third one in this franchise, being announced, and if it isn't delayed, going to be out later this year, I wanted to take a look. Well, actually, I know I have already done a look back on the Crew 2, however, that video was, to put it in the YouTuber ad-friendly way, not very good. Yeah, the video I don't think was that good to be YouTuber friendly, but I don't care, so yeah, it was shit. Let's actually talk about this game and let's look at it properly. I've discussed that video, I actually made that video 5 months ago. A few more things has been added, but more importantly, I have now gone through and done a little bit more of all the other stuff. I've done some of the contractor stuff, the US Speed Tour, obviously agency in the game. We had new stuff, Dominion Frozen, and we had Into the Storm and Blizzard Rush. Sorry. Yeah, so we've had all that. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better now. The illness has sort of stopped me from recording videos for a solid 2 weeks, but I'm now back, so that's all good stuff. So let's talk about the Crew 2 properly and what the game has left us with. First things first, let's talk about the vehicle list. When I reviewed the game 5 months ago, it had about 500, I think it was 527 cars. Now, 5 months later, we're now at 555, so that's 28, which is, in 5 months, that's not too bad. I will admit that, considering, you know, all the good stuff we had. But yeah, the car list in this game, it is very, very good. There are a hell of a lot of cars. Obviously, within these, admittedly, yes, there are a few that are basically the same. It's just that because it goes under a different class, it's counted as a unique vehicle. So, you know, do take it with a pinch of salt. There's a lot less unique vehicles. You know, there's still a lot that you can actually do with them, so it kind of swings and roundabouts, really. However, of all the unique vehicles, it is a very, very good car list. Really, really good car list. It's, I mean, bloody hell, there's 15 Bugattis. I mean, admittedly, a lot of them are special editions, but you've got the Ascendo Dieci, I think that's how it's pronounced, obviously the Chirons, the 300 Plus and regulars, Devos, with two other editions, EB110, Le Votre Noir, Type 57, Veyron. Yeah, you get the entire idea, and then obviously, you know, DMC-12 monster truck and things like that, and also their own special vehicles, all this creative stuff. Obviously, that's a drifty DeLorean, which I actually really do enjoy. You know, all of this stuff, it is all brilliant. It's a really, really good car list. And obviously, as time went on, they added more disciplines. So with the more disciplines came even more vehicles. Obviously, as you saw there, we got the Demolition Derby vehicles with Dodge as well. We had a Charger that was a Demolition Derby vehicle. Not only that, we had the introduction of the hovercrafts being a proper class. You know, there was a lot of stuff. There was actually a good amount of stuff being added to it. With all the hovercrafts and whatnot. It was, yeah, there is a lot. There really is a lot that you can sink your teeth into with this game. I'm not going to say, though, that the disciplines are brilliant, because, not all of them, because unfortunately what the Crew 2 really suffered with is, you know, it was advertising the fact that it had all 3 disciplines, but the boats and the planes didn't really feel that well, sort of updated, in a sense. I know they're probably not the most popular thing. I know cars are going to be probably more popular than those two things, but they didn't really feel that fleshed out, compared to the cars. So hopefully, Wild, whatever you may call it, if that does keep the whole, you can use planes and you can use boats, hopefully we get more of those, we get more in depth with those vehicles as well, because they've just felt tacked on just for the sake of being a unique selling point rather than being a properly delved mechanic into the game. But you know, that's my thought on that. Yours completely different. When we come to the handling of the game, it is very good fun. Very, very good fun. Not perfect, though. There is problems with it. It's not so much when just turning the car normally. Obviously, all the cars have different characteristics, which is a sign of a good handling model. Because if all of them just drove the same, then that would be a little bit of a problem. Obviously, as well, not only that, with this game, you can tune them. If you think the car's a little bit too understeery, obviously you can go to here and tweak about with all these gubbins, if you know what you're doing. I don't. So hopefully, we get all these tuning options, all of these assists that we, for the next game. But I hope as well that for the next game, the handling is fixed a little bit. My main issue with the handling is actually when you're doing a lot of the race routes around this track. Obviously, America isn't flat, unlike the FH4 map. There is a lot of altitude changes, things like that, a lot of crest to go over and things like that, which obviously affect the handling of your car. And that's fine, that's to be expected. However, the Crew's handling model, it gets a little bit, for me it just gets a little bit skew with. When you sort of go into two wheels, you instantly lose a lot of grip. Even if you're going in a straight line, I could just sort of feel the car, well, obviously being a bit floaty, it's on two wheels, no. But, I mean, I suppose, in a way, it does sort of make sense. But, when you do get a little bit of slide, your natural instinct is to recover it. Get a little bit of counter steer on there, and, to try and correct the little slide. But, when you do that in this game, you just get absolutely thrown to where you're correcting, and that will probably end you up in a building or a tree. So, I do hope that gets just a little bit, I don't know, probably the counter steering. I mean, to be honest, that could probably be me with the drift assist and not turning it off. To be honest, I'm not really too sure. I tinker around with the things every now and then, but I don't know, it just doesn't sit right with me, that. So hopefully, with the next game, I think all I really want is just to tweak the sensitivity of the counter steering, just to be a little bit slower, just so that when you actually do correct it, you don't just go veering off into a tree or anything like that. Just for it to be calmed down. But the having to turn, especially when a lot of corners have crests and you're having to turn, it can get a little bit on the frustrating side to deal with. Just because your car will just lose grip and then you want to try and correct it, but you can't really. So, there is that. Hopefully, within the next game, that does get fixed a little bit. So, that's just the general basis of the car list and the handling model. It's very good in this game. I just think it could probably do with just a few minor touch-ups here and there. The other thing that I do hope stays prevalent in the next Crew is the customization in this game, because it is sublime. It really, really is fantastic. I showed it off a little bit when I did a little game. There's the MX-5. I've still got it with the Yokohama paint. But you could do some absolutely monstrous stuff. Like with this 3000 GT, just the wing on it is absolutely insane. Or the FTO, I love the FTO, I really do. Yeah, the customization in this is top. It is absolutely brilliant. Obviously, some cars won't have as many customization, others will have more. That's just to be expected. But the cars that do have a good amount of customization really do have a good amount of customization. Not only that, you know, with people being able to share their liveries and things like that, rather than just having the set ones made by the crew themselves, made by, well, that's just in the game. Obviously, if you like them, you could just leave them on. It's up to you. But, you know, the fact that you were able to just download custom liveries really did help a lot. Obviously, as well, you had vanity stuff. These are a really cool addition, so you can change all your tyres, you can change the smokes, nitro, you can change the neons, window tints, you can change the horn if you really want to, and you can have the little rooftop stuff. Now, this at launch was not a thing. This got added later, and when they added all the vanity stuff, it was a brilliant update. It really, really was a brilliant update when they did all that stuff. Because it just allowed you to personalise your car a little bit more and stuff like that. So, when we talk about the updates, obviously the main thing that came on is when they did this whole season stuff, they obviously introduced a battle pass, or the motor pass in this game as it's called. And the early iteration of it was terrible. It absolutely was terrible. Here we are. Because, obviously, all these challenge stuff, you know, it's still kind of the same layout. You got crew credits, you get cosmetics, you get cars that The cool thing about the cars is that they can have slightly different stats to the standard model and have unique customizations as well. So it is almost treat like a special edition, kind of like the Forza editions from the Forza franchise, but a little bit more special with this because they a little bit more unique to them. Obviously, FH5's done this a little bit better with some of the Forza editions they've got in that game. But yeah, so the early Motorpass stuff was not great whatsoever. However, now it's actually quite good because it's very accessible to a lot of people. All the Motorpass stuff, which is very, very good. Obviously, it does take a while. That if you don't plan on buying crew credits, it does take a while to get all the money to actually unlock the Motorpass, because I think the standard one is like 2 or 3 million, and then you could get the premium one where you get extra tiers for an extra million on top of that, and it does take a while to get to that money. Obviously, if you spam out New York in this game, you did get quite a lot of it, but this race is about half an hour if you don't really know all the shortcuts and things like that. So, you will be spending a lot of time trying to get that. However, they have helped the Motorpass a little bit out with the update to the Summit. Beforehand, when it came to the Summit, it worked in a very similar way. Obviously, you just had events, sometimes with the specific disciplines. Sometimes you have to use a specific car, and things like that, or a specific country. But obviously, this one here, Flying Germans. So, for instance, I need to get a AMG touring car, the AMG GT3, and then for hypercar, I need to have a 918. But beforehand, the only rewards you didn't get any rewards for actually playing the events and completing them. You only got them for actually, obviously, the medal you earn during the summit. And that was the only reward you got. And obviously, when the Motorpass came out, because I didn't spend all the time every single day playing the game, so I mean, yeah, it was in a way, but it wasn't very accessible at all. Not only that, you couldn't actually access the Motorpass normally, you had to buy it with premium currency. So when they did change that, that was a fantastic update. And obviously, like I said, when they changed how the summit worked, so you actually got rewards for doing the events, it was great as well, because, that event there is 400,000 XP on top of, for just completing that event, that's 600,000 XP for that 1 week. That's a hell of a lot. So yeah, that's the thing that the Crew 2 has done very, very well. And that is very good updates. I will admit, they have added some fantastic updates to this game. Like I said, the summit, the Motorpass changes, all the seasonal event stuff. Now that I have completed all of them, I've sort of, there were a few that I enjoyed. The police ones, they're alright. They're not the greatest things in the world. The agency and the game stuff is all sort of Gymkhana-based stuff. They're okay. However, the handling model doesn't quite work with a lot of these cars, because you want to drift around and things like that, try to get a lot of those points, and it's just a bit... It's not the greatest. I just don't think... It doesn't quite work for these cars. The Rallycross ones, these ones here, they work a little bit better. Obviously, just for the vehicles that you're driving, and I'll tell you what though, when they go out for these updates, they really did go all out for these. These events are absolutely glorious to look at. Obviously, these ones are nice, simple point-to-points, but they feel like a proper stage and things like that. It was good fun. Obviously, that's the same, but all relatively off-roady. These, you can be a taxi or an off-roady taxi. These, you do like almost a treasure. It's basically a treasure hunt, and you're rewarded with cars and planes and whatnot. So yeah, they are seriously good updates in this game. And then that's just nice, simple racing, and these are more nice and simple racing as well. But they added like crosswinds and things like that into these too. It was really good stuff. That's the main thing about the Crew, and I do hope it continues in Wildrush, is the brilliant updates. Obviously, when hovercraft became a proper racing discipline, that was, again, a great update. Freestyle, when they added Demolition Derby as a proper discipline, again, that was really, really good. I mean, admittedly, the Demolition Derby it wasn't flat out Ultimate Carnage or Wreckfest levels of good, but you know what? It was actually very solid for what it was trying to portray. Yeah, honestly, this is a really good game, and they've got a lot to actually go off of, because I think that they could do a lot of stuff that the Crew 2 has in place and happily transfer over into the next game. I really do think that this has been a strong game, so I wouldn't mind if the next one, it had a lot of stuff from this, like all the vanity cosmetics, all of the event types, the event disciplines, you know, all of it is great stuff. I just hope that, you know, the handling, oh dear, I've not drifted very well. I just hope that they just make minor improvements to the handling. I think it just needs a little bit more of a tweak. It could probably do a little bit more of a tweak. But I think the main thing is I hope that they improve. If they do decide to add planes and boats, if they do decide to continue that, I just hope they're a little bit more fleshed out than what they were in this game, because it was a bit of a letdown, I will admit, the planes and the boat events in this. I mean, don't get me wrong, they weren't terrible. There just wasn't enough of it. That's the main problem. It's just that wasn't quite enough of it. Also as well, now I do know that map, they are taking it to... I think they are actually taking it to Oahu, the same island that they did in Test Drive. And I hope that if they do that, they basically make it like the 1-to-1 scale, because I think that would... I mean, you know, the map in the Crew 2 is big. It is a very, very big map. You know, the scale down America is going to be huge. And, you know, it is a good map. But I do hope that if they're going for the Oahu route, I think the Crew could definitely benefit with a 1-to-1 scale. Especially considering the consoles we're on now. I do think it would help a lot. Also, as well, if you've watched the trailer, you get to listen to the Lamborghini, the new Lamborghini. I forgot what it's called. It's the one on the cover. I think the sound design as well is going to be a lot more improved, which I'm not going to say the sound design on this game is bad, because it's far from. There's a lot of good sounding cars in this game, actually a hell of a lot. But a few of them do sound a little bit... Some of them don't sound fantastic, I will admit. Some of them do sound a little bit flat. But I'm not going to say horrific, because that's extremely harsh, I will admit. But, I mean, what should we go over? The Porsche Carreras, yeah, we'll go over to these. I mean, these don't sound bad. But, yeah, it's quite a good sounding car, I will admit, but... I don't know, I wish it just screamed a little bit more, but then you've got the R390 actually does sound quite nice in this game, I will admit. I do actually really like the R390. Yeah, it's a nice sounding car. But yeah, if the Crew Wildrush improves the sound design further, that's another plus point in my opinion. There's a little bit of texture glitches. Yeah, so that's all I really wanted to talk about. I just wanted to do sort of the look back on the Crew 2, but actually do a better video of it. Sort of talk about how this game has improved, because it really has improved a lot. Car list, disciplines, the events, the event types, the event amounts. You know, all of it really has improved. There's another thing I just wanted to discuss quickly that I forgot to mention in the main part of it, and then I was doing an event, I think this one actually here, I'm doing New York, ignore the driving there, and there is one thing that I do really hope gets changed in Wildrush. Now I know with the Crew 2 this was pretty much a game that you had to have internet connection to actually play, which can be a little bit of a problem, especially if they shut down the servers, then that is going to be a big problem. But the main thing is, right, I'm currently in this event by myself. I'm doing a little bit of single player. Now, normally, when you pause the game, everything pauses, but you can still see sort of what you're doing and things like that. and then you are able to just get quick bearings. I've failed that shortcut massively. You're able to get your bearings quickly. Oh, excuse me, people. Yeah, get your bearings quickly, and then sort of be on your way. But with the Crew, because it's got this whole pausing animation, like, I mean, the graphics is fine and all, so that's not the problem. What the problem is that I'm going to pause it here, right? So obviously, as you can see here, I now can't see my car. I can't see the road. I'm then going to unpause. I'm going to have this graphic, and I still have full control of the car before I even could see fully what was going on. So, you know, if you're on a very, very twisty event, and then you pause because, I don't know, you have to go away for a quick minute, you're gonna probably immediately forget where you actually are. You're then gonna unpause and head straight first into a barrier or a tree. That, I do think, needs to definitely change in Wildrush. Just allow us to either if you're gonna leave like some sort of graphic, at least sort of have a little bit like Dirt 4 does, when you've got a little pause time, so that when you unpause, it has a quick countdown, 3, 2, 1, and then you're immediately off again, because you can because you've seen the surroundings, so you can go, alright, okay, I can, you know, I'm ready, I can now drive the car properly again. Either that, or just when it pauses, do not have any form of graphic up, so you can still see the road, then you can come back, and then you are, you know, able to just pick up the controller or steering wheel or whatever. Not really pick up the steering wheel, but you're just able to immediately sit back down, unpause, and immediately sort of begin where you left off, with being able to fully see where you're going or whatnot. I think that definitely needs to be improved as well. And I think as well they've changed the handling a little bit. Obviously all these icons were changed more recently as well. I actually really do like them. Yeah. No, it's a fantastic game. It's a very, very strong basis that I think Wildrush could use off. Because this game, like I said, it's a hell of a lot better. All the customization, all that gubbins, a lot better than when this game released back in 2018. It really is. It's good fun. If you haven't played it yet, honestly, I think it's... What, they're having like a massive Ubisoft sale, it's like 80% off a bunch of their games. I think the Crew 2 is one of them. Seriously, go pick it up. I really do think that you should go pick it up. I think it's a very, very fun game, especially now. It's a good distraction. And it's a very good distraction for when Wildrush comes out. I really do think that. However, I am going to call it there for a video. I do hope you enjoyed. All feedback is appreciated. If you have played this game beforehand, and, you know, or you are one of the ones that have just picked it up for the first time, let me know what you think. You know, what things do you sort of hope to see return in Wildrush? What do you hope to see improve in Wildrush as well? You know, do let me know of all that stuff. Oh, yeah, actually, just before I do end the video, I did forget to mention, oh god, all of the all this stuff here, like the timeline, the icon points and things like that. These are quite cool. Obviously now if you could watch all of your stuffs again if you really want to. Oh, around 31 million. Yeah, you know, these are all good fun. Obviously when you're leveled up, you unlock these. In the Crew 1 you unlocked some, but the rest you then had to buy with premium currency. So I hope the icon points is done like the Crew 2 in this, and obviously if every single time you hit an icon level 10 you unlock parts, but if you got to certain icon levels then you'd unlock a car. Again, this was brilliant addition, rewarding for basically you continuing to play the game. This is what the stuff you got rewards and things like that for it. So yeah, I think absolutely good stuff. However, yeah, I am going to end the video here now. I do hope you enjoy all the usual my outro stuff, because I did it beforehand. If you want to join my Discord as well, it is completely up to you. I'll leave a link to that in the description in case you want to suggest something else for me to do. Wow, the comments work for that as well, but if you want to join there, then you can. However, that's going to be it for me. Take care, and ciao for now.